Hello and welcome back to another Bad Movie Reviews review hosted by your two favourite Neanderthals from Down Under, Ben and Daniel. And if you haven't clicked on to what we're reviewing and haven't looked at the title, let me tell you, it is none other than Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Now, if you're not familiar, it is obviously a sequel to
the most underrated trilogy ever.
The Planet of the Apes trilogy, which is obviously most recently, helmed by Matt Reeves, who's done the Batman in recent times. But this one picks up quite a few generations, I guess, later, after the reign of Caesar, and it's basically just about a journey that'll lead a journey of a young ape that everything about his past and. Just a coming of age story in some sense, but
to a degree,
it is directed by Wes Ball though, who is most famously known for directing the Maze Runner trilogy, which I actually personally think through that kind of young adult teenage renaissance period of like the early 2000s, Maze Runner is probably the most underrated of them all. It doesn't actually really get talked about.
Like Maze Runner came out in like early 2010s.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, 2010s.
You said early 2000. For me, I was thinking 2002, and I was like
early 2010s. It was 2014. Maze Runner came out. I may have said early 2000. I don't know. Maybe I'll watch it back and realize if I did, or not. But he directed all of them, and he's also known to is directing the Legend of Zelda movie coming up. So
I didn't even know that was happening. What the hell?
Yeah, after Super Mario Bros, they Nintendo think it's probably a good idea to start making.
At least there's a good story there.
The films, but I'll leave the plot. I feel like the trailers actually don't really show a lot in terms of the story itself, so I'll leave that kind of. Probably won't touch on that too much, but I'm relieved and overjoyed.
Relieved.
Well, I do think, and you kind of said it yourself that. The Planet of the Apes trilogy, in my opinion, is actually one of the best trilogies of all time. Yeah. And people say that might be a big comment, but it's like when you really look up trilogies, there's not many films that get made that have two direct sequels and three films in that series. There's not many. And when there are, does the quality hold up? Yep. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But with these films, they've progressively gotten better. This is obviously a start of probably a new trilogy. It feels like it definitely leans towards obviously that, but I thought with Matt Reeves is obviously an extremely talented director, and Wes Ball, I was obviously familiar with the Maze Runner and seen it, and I did enjoy them, but I was kind of not hesitant, but it was a bit of an unknown to see how he'd go with a big budget movie.
It's not skepticism, but on that borderline of it, it's definitely the unsure side.
Mm. But I mean, in saying that, obviously, it's they got to start somewhere. But
yeah,
I actually, looking at it now, think there's probably not a better director for the film.
Unsure.
In terms of,
but it was great.
Well, in terms of they're not obviously going to get Christopher Nolan to make it, it's just not going to happen. So, of tapping into the potential of young directors, I don't know how young he is, but, I guess up and coming directors that have, in saying that, he's obviously done a big trilogy, but it's not exactly, Marvel, it's not exactly a big $1 billion franchise, but, the reason I say that is Maze Runner is actually a film where I thought through that young adult time, the scale of the films was something completely that drew me in and was fantastic in the world building, and I thought he does a brilliant job here. The scale of the film overall is fantastic, and we've talked about that previously with films like Godzilla and things like that. Obviously, you're dealing with apes, and it's obviously a time where there aren't many humans in play, but overall the scale of the film and the weight of the sound and it actually, the world building itself I thought was fantastic. This is obviously, Maze Runner's a future dystopia time, but this obviously is a bit different. It actually gave me very similar vibes to, in terms of the overall, I guess, art design of the cities and the places, very similar vibes to almost 2 PlayStation games in Horizon and Last of Us.
Yeah, gotcha.
Which I loved. I'm not saying it copied that by any means. It's just very
had that kind of like
overgrown, long, big buildings.
Yeah, post-apocalyptic, like overgrowth.
Yeah. And yeah, like I can't really give this film enough compliments. I do think the visual effects are obviously the thing people talk about the most, which I understand because it is like genuinely impeccable visual effects. It's just, a shame they're probably not going to get awarded for their efforts when a film like Dune's out. But man, I can't give this film enough kudos. Like I genuinely, I really loved it. It's hard to obviously sit here and like rank them amongst the previous ones because I do love them with all my heart, and I've obviously had time to reflect and gather my thoughts more. Obviously, we've just come out of this, 30 minutes ago, but I think it's probably the best possible way it could not restart, but continue this story of the apes, in my opinion.
I agree. Yeah, completely. For me, it's definitely started off as a bit of a slower burn. And I was like, all right, I know what they're doing because they've got to build this kind of like new universe for you. But
it's a whole lot of world building they got to go through again. We've obviously seen, it's
like you need the background. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. And that's fine. That didn't do anything negative for this film at all. But like I was like, all right, I'm just waiting for it. And then it has its moments where it's like chills down the spine. You're like, man, that was some extraordinary. Whatever it was, I don't want to jump into any spoilers, but just like the moment was
it
bone
does clock
chilling.
in at a bit over 2 hours 20 minutes, but I must admit it actually didn't really feel it.
No,
I thought the pacing was really well done.
I always want more, you know me. Like, give me 4.5 hour films every day.
There's certain shots and cinematography that I thought were gorgeous.
Great. I
got to obviously talk about. One thing that these films always start the discussion of is the performance capture, and I thought everyone here was incredible. Kevin Durand as Proximus Caesar was fantastic. I thought Owen Teague, who plays Noah, was the main ape. He was phenomenal as well. You obviously got the main real life human character in May, but Peter McConaughey's Raka I thought was stand out for me.
He's got a unique voice, doesn't he? The moment he started talking...
You probably know him. He plays Lieutenant Commander Bortus in the Orville, which I've never watched in my life.
I mean, I've seen him in probably 30 other things, but yeah, Orville. Yeah, beautiful.
Well, you wouldn't know what he looks like because it's his voice.
I know exactly what he looks like.
Mm. Yeah. Well, it's just his voice. He plays an orangutan, so... now that I've said that, you probably know it.
No, I already knew what he looked like. Yeah. The moment I put the voice to the face. He's got an iconic face, to be honest, I think, personally. Anyway, but yeah, his performance was fantastic. I thought it was pretty great along the board, to be honest. Some of the, obviously it's a movie that heavily relies on the voice acting, and it exemplified that. I thought it was fantastic along the board. For me, like, this movie ended, and I was thinking straight away about our 3 Bs that we always discuss, bigger, bolder, better. Was it bigger? Some of the weight, some of the size, some of the scenes. I was like, yeah, I'll give it that. Bolder. Did it take as many risks? Maybe not yet. But it might be one that I need to... It's the
start of a new trilogy, I guess. So that whole triple B is kind of, I guess, reset. Like, it has a smaller budget. It's...
Yeah.
It's... They're obviously not given the freedom. Like, there's not the big calling of Andy Serkis playing the greatest performance. So I kind of gave it a whole new slate for this going in. Because I don't think... I think in terms of world building, it's definitely bigger. Obviously, just the scale of the film for sure. But I know what you mean. But I can actually see, because there are rumors that it will be a new trilogy, I can actually see where there's definitely potential for... a bigger, bolder film down the line where it'll really get quite... I mean, it kind of... It obviously serves as a sequel, but let's say if it is a prequel also at the same time compared to obviously like the original Planet of the Apes films from, 40, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
It obviously might serve as a prequel to them. So there's obviously a lot more story to tell between those time periods. So I can see where it might go.
It's exciting.
I could be completely wrong, but it is exciting. In saying that, I thought I would kind of like to see Wes Ball return to do the next one, but from the sounds of it, obviously, if he's tied up to Zelda, he might be doing that. But I guess that kind of brings in the excitement factor of having someone new, so you do get that fresh overlook on a film, which has happened in past times when we've had sequels and things like that, where a new director's come on and it's had a whole different vibe. It might get a lot darker. I believe from the first one to the second one of the original, like ones 10 years ago, it went from, I can't remember who directed the first one, but I don't think it was Matt Reeves. And then Matt Reeves did the second and third. So there's potential for that down the line, obviously, with an exciting vision. But man, I actually, like, if you like the original, I can't recommend this. And when I say original, obviously I am referring to
the most recent
trilogy.
Yeah.
I can't recommend this enough. I think everyone will love it. Obviously, like, it is hard to talk about as well, in the sense that there's not many films out there which rely heavily on visual effects the whole time. Like, really, I can think of Avatar. But the benefit, obviously, that has is they're all speaking cohesive English. It's not broken English like the apes are talking. So, like, I can't give this film enough props for the fact that not only is it not fully cohesive, like, you know, language throughout the film, but it drags you in, and, like, visually it tells that story as well. So, like, it's not only hitting its marks across the board in terms of its storytelling, but, like, visual storytelling in this film as well was fantastic. So I can't really give it enough props. Am I saying it's the best film of the year? No, but, like, I had a great time. I would recommend it to everyone. I would definitely go watch it again.
Same.
And have a great time as well. Like, I genuinely can't give it enough.
No, this is something I'll soak into. I'm a video game person. That's why I like Zelda. I was like, yeah, awesome, sick. I would love to just have this as an experience, you know? Like, it's the same with, like, Avatar. I know the game was a crappy rendition of it, but the most recent one. But just, like, they build these amazing universes with these amazing characters. I just want more of it. You know, I want to soak in it. I want to be me in that. You know, maybe I'm having a bit of the Avatar depression, like when they had that.
Yeah, you want to be in that world. You go buy the 4 books and 4 books about the world and things like that. But no, yeah, look, just keen to see where it goes. Genuinely loved the movie.
Yep, definitely go watch it.
Definitely go watch it. If you're watching this, I think the embargo lifts before it comes out. So first of all, that's usually a good sign that they obviously have faith in it. So, and you're watching this obviously when that lifts, but recommend it. Do go see it. Support it so we can get the future renditions of the sequels of that, because I definitely want to see where it goes from here, and it is something that is definitely exciting because I want to see more of these characters, and I love the arcs of everyone in the film, and I'm keen to see more, and I'm sure from the sounds of it you are too. So
always.
If you do like our review, comment below, let us know what you think of the movie as well. Give the video a like, subscribe for more, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.